It was the last thing Greg Kelly expected to hear, especially at the young age of 59. You've got dementia. But rather than give in to the debilitating condition that affects more than 400,000 Australians, Greg is riding his Harley Davidson around Australia, around New Zealand and America over the next year. Now, he began his epic journey last weekend from Nerang. Greg joins me for the next few minutes. Afternoon, Greg.
G'day, how's it going?
What does younger onset dementia look like in your life?
Mate, it's life-shattering. It's a terminal illness. Average lifespan worldwide is 6 to 8 years. You're told to go away and get your affairs in order. I didn't understand how it was terminal. They explained to me that 5 to 6 years you'll start to forget family and friends, and the next 18 months, 2 years, your brain is forgetting everything. So what happens is it forgets how to swallow, it forgets how to work your organs, so you die of infection and organ failure.
Your diagnosis was given 2 years ago when you were 59. Today, you're 61. How quickly is it advancing in your case?
I try not to, I won't say focus on it, I haven't made this plateau, and I'm doing everything in my power with diet, fitness, but I haven't made a plateau, and that's why I have to knock this over before my health takes over in somewhere down the track. But, mate, let me tell you, it's a very aggressive and fast disease in young people. I was told that by the specialists, and I am actually seeing it. Stuff I could do 6 months ago I can't do now, and there are issues with my health and all sorts of things that are actually starting now, even on the ride. So when I finish this in 3 months, we've got to get into New Zealand, knock it over, and then the States. Second highest killer here in Australia, predicted to be number one in the next 5 to 10 years, which is 60 to 120 months. No cure, no medication, can't go and get chemo or radiation, and I can't get the bad bit cut out of my brain.
So given that your time is limited, why a motorbike and why around the country and overseas, Greg?
Someone has to step forward. Someone has to turn the lights on this. We can't allow our kids, our grandkids, our future great-grandkids. In Australia, we can't allow this to become number one killer. I can't say it loud enough or clear enough. And we just can't allow it. And we have to get big money into the research. It's not the $5 and $10 from mum and dad. Okay, we need to get the top 500 companies here in Australia, 0.5 cent out of each dollar profit. That's 0.5% from their profit. They keep 99.5 cents. They put 0.5 cent into a fund we call medical research. And then that money gets dispersed to the top 10 killers. Number one's heart, number two is dementia, then you've got cancer, etc. So then we can get some real money and we can get to some real action happening.
So, Greg, how has your concept of funding research, especially into dementia, been received so far?
Mate, people are listening, and it's the mums and dads and yourself, etc., that go, yeah, look, why aren't we doing this? We need a CEO, okay, with enough gumption to step forward today and go, yes, 0.5%. We can do that, because that CEO and that company then is showing they care about their employees and the employees' family and friends, and they care about the Australian public who are buying their goods and creating their profit.
Greg Kelly is my special guest on Brisbane's 96.5 this afternoon. He was diagnosed with younger onset dementia at the age of 59. That was a couple of years ago. Greg is not taking it lying down. He's determined to raise much needed funds and awareness for Australians living with dementia, as you've just heard, is really quite profound and quite innovative idea a few moments ago. And also that's why he's riding his Harley Davidson around Australia, around New Zealand and the United States over the next 12 months. Greg, do you have a name for your bike?
Yeah, it's a Harley.
Your bike's called Harley, okay.
You wouldn't call it anything else, and let me tell you, you would not do this ride on anything else. I've had 26 bikes in my life. I've ridden every breed there is, but I've got to do it comfortably, and I've got to have the grunt there. Especially when I come up against the road trains.
What's your response then to people who say it's too dangerous for you to do something like this, not just for yourself, but for others, given the condition that you've got?
Yeah, look, I get tested for my licence every 12 months now. A lot of people don't know that sort of thing happens. And let me ask you got your licence when you were 17. Have you been retested in the last 30 or 40 years?
No.
There you go. I get tested every year. It's one of those things, mate. Like, you know, I try and keep those skills now as sharp as possible.
Now, to help raise funds and awareness to dementia, and especially younger onset dementia, a special song has been written about what you're doing, your journey over the next 12 months on the back of a Harley Davidson. Tell me a little bit more about that before we say goodbye.
I spoke at a conference, and a gentleman approached me less than 36 hours later and said, mate, I stayed up all night. I thought about everything that you said. And Alex wrote a song. He then contacted Matt McLaren, Newcastle boy, and I'm Newcastle born and bred. Matt was the blind singer on Australia's Got Talent, and he was in the grand final. And Matt and Alex put this down in Matt's studio and created the song Kel's Ride. My understanding is that this is going up on iTunes. All this money is going to go into a foundation, and this money to go so that we can find a cure or find something to slow this disease down.
Greg Kelly, it's been an inspiration listening to you for the last few minutes on Brisbane's 96.5. All the best in your undertaking. Safe travels. May the awareness and also the increase in funds towards dementia, and particularly younger onset dementia, be achieved. In fact, I hope and pray over the next 12 months you actually get blown away by people's responses. We're going to play that song that Matt McLaren has sung in honour of you and all that you're doing. Thank you so much again for joining me this afternoon on Brisbane's 96.5.
Thank you very much, and thank you to all the listeners out there. Switch the lights on.